you going to get this seat fixed? I've just snagged another pair of tights.
Well, if you'd waited until I'd come round.
All I'm waiting for is for you to have it fixed. Are you going to be all night?
Please, just keep your voice down.
There's nothing wrong with my voice.
Well, Miss Mouse will still be awake.
I should hope so, too. That's what we pay her for, isn't it?
Well, she certainly doesn't need a baby alarm to hear your voice, anyway.
I can always tell by the glazed look you get. And the way you start simpering over. Those people at the party, they must be enjoying themselves now that we've left. Now they can really get...
Please, will you just keep your voice down?
Oh, getting all po-faced about the Bentleys now. Do them good. Share a bit of our swinging nightlife.
I don't think that they'd be interested.
Oh, what do you know about them?
Well, I know I wouldn't want to be woken up by a drunken woman carrying on at this time of night.
Drunk? You're the one who's drunk, as usual. Maudlin, soggy, and half asleep.
Well, if I am, I must be the only one by now.
Anyway, that's the last time I go to a party with you, the last time.
Well, if that's the way you feel...
That's the way I feel, all right?
All right.
They're dull enough, heaven knows, without you shoving yourself away in a corner.
Well, if I'm all that dull, I should have thought you'd have been only too glad to.
Shoving yourself away in a corner, talking to a lot of men all evening. Well, how boring you are, talking to men all the time.
You seem to be talking to men the whole time yourself.
Well, that's what parties are for. Just because you're undersexed.
Oh, do shut up. Oh, damn.
Oh, do stop fussing. I was told, of course. God knows I was warned. Anyone who gets to your age, well, anyone who manages to get that far without being married, there must be something a bit off. Well, I ought to have known. I ought to have seen that.
Do you want Miss Mouse to hear us?
I don't care who hears.
Well, it's time you did care. It's time you started to behave like a civilized human being.
I'm sorry. Oh, my God, I'm so sorry. Well, I'm not good enough for you. I'm not up to your lofty standards.
Oh, don't start all that again.
Now you must suffer, tied for life to a dim, stupid, undiscerning
Will you
woman.
bloody well shut up?
What will you do if I don't?
Look, Lucille, don't push it, because one day... We're back, Miss Cobb.
Haven't had any trouble. He hasn't stirred. Good night.
Good night, Miss Miss Cobb.
One day you're going to call her Miss Mouse to her face, and then we'll never be able to ask her to babysit again.
Well, that's all right, isn't it?
What do you mean, that's all right?
Well, you said you weren't ever going to go to a party with me again, so we shan't be needing you.
Typical. Niggling over every little word. Were you putting on your precious act for those grisly women you were fussing over tonight?
I thought it was men I was talking to all night.
If you were a real man, you'd have made a pass at that blonde. She was waiting for it. Poor creature, she didn't know all she was going to get was talk. And talk.
It'd be nice if Miss Mouse hadn't switched off there then, wouldn't it?
Oh, she'd be far too prissy to eavesdrop. Might do her good to try. Not that she'd learn anything about bedroom techniques from you. Or anything else come to that.
I've realised before what a nice voice she had.
Oh, starting to fancy Miss Mouse now, have you?
I merely said I thought she had a nice voice.
Well, you'd make a good pair. You're the mousy type yourself.
Oh, come off it. Do you suppose that she and that old Mara of hers sit up and wait for us to get back, or does she go to bed?
Starting to imagine her in bed now, are you?
Look, all I said was that...
She probably wears bed socks. She'd probably knit you a pair if you asked her nicely.
Oh, for goodness sake. Can't say I've ever fancied Miss Mouse. But let's be fair, she hasn't got a bad figure at all, has she? Not bad.
Well, well, so you have been giving her the eye. Well, of all the pathetic...
She'd have probably made somebody a good wife if it hadn't been for that old Mara of hers.
You sick little creep. You couldn't even cope with another. Not even Miss Mouse. Oh, laugh and cough. I'm the one who needs a bit of extra...
Oh, don't start all that sort of thing.
I'll tell you who did want to start that sort of thing tonight at that party. That Harry, what's his name? And I wouldn't have said no.
That's enough.
Jealous?
No.
You bloody well ought to be.
Look, one of these days you're going to push your luck too far, you and that dirty mouth of yours. Just shut your mouth, will you? Just shut your mouth! Just shut your mouth! Shut it, you dirty thing! Shut it! Shut your mouth! Shut it, you hear? Shut it! Shut your filthy mouth! Shut your dirty, filthy mouth! All right, Lucille. Come on, stop messing about. Lucille, come on, let's get to bed. Lucille, come on. Lucille! Lucille. Lucille. Come on, Lucille.
Turn the radio down. My sake, turn that radio down.
That's a good boy, Matthew. Be a good boy now. Now, Mum is sleeping, Matthew. There we are. You just sit there a minute. There we are. Now, good boy, Matthew. Yeah. All right, Matthew. Now, what's first? Yeah, that's a nice toy. Sit you there. Let's see. Milk. No. Oh, no, potty. That's first. Potty. Right. Sit. Hang on, sit. That's it. Sit. Yeah. Yes, Daddy's here, Matthew. Daddy's here. Off you go. Yeah. There we are.
Thought I'd better return the speaker, as usual. And these, which I didn't have to use, of course.
Well, do you usually walk in like that? I mean, I'd have thought you'd have rung the bell, just in case.
In case?
Well, I might have been, well, you know.
Oh, that's all right. I once did walk in with someone, you know. The mentalists. They came home very late one night and forgot to tell me on the microphone. I heard these noises on the speaker. So I hurried round and let myself in very quietly. And there he was. Naked.
Embarrassing.
We all make mistakes.
I hope we didn't keep you up too late last night.
Oh, that's all right. I was waiting up for the Bentleys as well. I must take their speaker back too. I meant to bring it with me when I came. But first things first.
Well, thanks again. Oh, yes, how much do we owe you? I think it's usually...
Who's going to look after the poor little mite now? I'm sometimes a bit forgetful, you know. I forget to switch off right away. I do get such an interesting picture of our neighbours.
You've got no business to...
Mother's always in bed, of course, reading detective stories. She says a good murder story is so soothing at night.
Do you stay awake and listen?
That's what you nice people pay me for. It does come in handy. We're not very well off, and every penny counts.
We don't pay you to stay awake and listen to what happens after we get back, and, well...
You were quite right. I do sometimes go to bed. I put the speaker on the bedside table. And when you all come home... Of course, some people unplug the lead at the microphone end. It makes a horrible howl in the speaker. It's most inconsiderate. Did you really try to imagine what I look like in bed? Shall I tell you what I'm like? Show you what I'm like?
Miss Mouse, Miss Cobb,
It's all right, I know that you call me Miss Mouse. But you don't think about me like that, do you?
We had rather a lot to drink last night. We were fooling around, you know. My wife's sleeping.
Such a bitch, wasn't she? You had to play along with her, I understand that. But you saw deeper. You're right. I haven't got a bad figure. Would you like to find out for yourself?
If you go back to your flat and throw the alarm wire through the window, I'll haul it in. No, I've told you.
The wire comes in through the window in there. You'll have to unlock this first.
If you just throw it out your end, we'll deal with it later.
We?
My wife, or me.
Can I see her?
See her?
I heard everything, you know. Heard you threaten her. Hit her several times. Before killing her.
That's not true. If you were snooping, if you were listening, you know that's not true at all.
Well, if I was asked, I suppose I could say I heard you being horribly provoked. Your wife sprang at you, and in trying to defend yourself, you accidentally, pushed her backwards and killed her.
That's it. You know that's exactly it.
Things sound very confused over the wire. I shall have to think carefully before I decide what I ought to say. And now, may I see her, please?
But why?
Please. She really was appalling, wasn't she?
It was an accident.
That depends.
I won't be a minute, Matthew.
Poor little Matthew. He hasn't got any grandparents to look after him, I do know that.
You know every damn thing, don't you?
Yes, Arthur.
What are you hoping to get out of all this?
I'll testify that it was an accident. Tragic, but not murder. Not your fault at all. And after you've recovered from the shock and a decent interval has elapsed, you'll marry me, won't you, Arthur?
Look, after what's happened, I don't think... I couldn't.
After what's happened, it's the only possible thing. I can't stand any more. I've got to have some life of my own, without her, without Mother. After we're married, we'll be able to afford a nice little place for her. See she's in good hands. All she really wants to do is to lie in bed all day reading detective stories. And I want... oh, such a lot more. You'll find I'm quite a lively little mouse, Arthur. Not much practical experience, but I've heard a lot. Learnt a lot. The Bentleys, for example. The Bentleys were awfully inventive. And they like to talk about it. Things that surprise me. I might even be able to surprise you. You won't find me dull, Arthur.
I've got to see to Matthew.
That'll be my job from now on, dear.
Matthew? Matthew? The key. Clever boy, you've turned the key, Matthew. Turn the key back again. Clever boy.
You mean he's locked us in?
Matthew! Hell, I think he's gone back to his toys.
But he can't. You've got to make him let us out.
Matthew! Turn the key back again and let Daddy out, Matthew. Give you a biscuit, Matthew. Chocolate biscuit, Matthew.
If we could attract attention, I could drop these down.
Attract attention, you and me locked in a bedroom with... Doesn't look good, does it? It'll look a lot worse later on when they hear about her death and how you just happened to be eavesdropping along the wire and how you just happened to be locked in the bedroom with me the next morning.
Well, when Matthew gets hungry or thirsty, won't he...
If you could throw the front door keys out of the window onto the grass, I can come and let you out. I can let you out, provided you make it worth my while.
Mother, how did you...
You forgot to take the Bentley speaker with you. I thought you were rather a long time, so I connected it up to this wire, just in case you were up to any mischief. And you were.
You had no right to snoop.
Mrs. Cobb, I really must say...
Silly notion, Melanie. Just like you. You think you could get away with that story of yours? I have a much better idea. If you promise to look after me, promise, I'll let you out. And tonight, Arthur, you can drive your wife off in the car, smash it up, and leave her in it. Then you can say she came home with you tonight, not last night, and had a terrible row, stormed out and drove off on her own. Oh, both Melanie and I heard her go. We were shocked.
Melanie?
You'll soon get used to calling her Melanie. Pity about the car. It's ages since I was taken out for a nice drive. But you can buy us another one, can't you?
Matthew, please, turn the key. He's pulled it out. He's dropped it.
The stupid little... If I could get my hands on him,
He can't be left in there on his own. He might turn the gas on. He might play with the power points. All right. It's a deal. I'll throw the keys down.
I'll come out and get them right away.
It'll be all right, Arthur. I'll make it worthwhile for you, Arthur. Really, I will. When we're alone together...
Alone together?
Oh, once we've got rid of her, we'll decide what to do about Mother.
I don't want her around my neck for the rest of my life. It's not fair.
Ah, darling. That's a good boy. Shall we try them? I don't think that's the right one, you know. No, this is it. This is the one. Isn't it? There now. I've always longed for something lovely and exciting to happen. And now it has. You're going to look after me, aren't you?
Mother, I want you to realise that Arthur
You
and I...
are going to look after me. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Look after me, and we'll get along so nicely. I can always babysit if you want to go out together. Look after me, and we'll get along so nicely. I can always babysit if you want to go out together.
I might even be able to surprise you.
And we'll get along so
I might even be able to surprise you.
always babysit if you want
I
to go
might
out
even be
together.
able to surprise you.
Look after me.
Sick little creep.
Be able to surprise
Sick little
you.
creep. You sick little
Always
creep.
babysit if you want to go out together.
Sick little
Look
creep.
after me.
Surprise
Sick
you.
little
And we'll get
creep.
along so
Sick little
nicely.
creep.
Surprise you.
Sick
Always
little creep.
babysit if you want to go out
little
together.
creep.
Surprise you.
Sick little
Look
creep.
after me.
Sick
And
little
we'll
creep.
get along thankful
Sick
to
little
get rid of
creep.
that awful
Sick
babysit
little creep.
if you want to go out
Sick little
together.
creep.
I might even be
Look
able
after
to
me.
surprise you.
And we'll get
Sick
along
little
so
creep.
nicely.
Aren't you
Thankful to get rid of that
babysit
if you want to go out together.
Shut it, will you? Shut it! Shut it! Shut it!